There's a reason why people talk about women having daddy issues and like how that manifests in the types of relationships they wind up in. And a lot of that is tied to different psychiatric issues and neurological issues that arise out of childhood trauma, and especially like childhood abandonment and stuff like that, that you end up with like borderline traits, which make you very desperate to be loved and accepted and to not be left, and you tend to accept a lot more bad behavior from other people because you don't feel like anyone else is going to love you like that, and you love people in a way that they don't love you back. And it's sad, but that's a lot of people who have childhoods where they're not loved unconditionally and they're not given that support wind up in those types of relationships later. It's a cycle. A lot of people who have mothers who date men like that. And that's been a cycle in my family, like generation after generation. The women have like wound up in the same types of relationships that our mothers were in. And we hate it when we look at it from the outside, but when you're in it, it's like you gravitate to what is most familiar to you, and you are much more likely to make excuses for things that are not acceptable because to you it's normal, and you don't see until you get older often. And some people never see it; they repeat this pattern their whole lives. But if you do eventually see it, it's often later that you realize, like, oh wait, this is not okay actually. Like, oh, that's not acceptable. Like, I shouldn't be tolerating that. But if you're raised in an environment where it's tolerate everything and every form of abuse and every form of mistreatment because you just want that person to love you, it's very easy to wind up in relationships like that. And it's very difficult to get out of that mindset. And a lot of the time people have to hit like rock bottom and be in the worst possible scenario where someone ruins their life before they start to hopefully like say, oh, you know what, like I can't tolerate that anymore and I don't deserve that. And sometimes it takes other people like, pointing it out to them and or like self-reflection, but a lot of people never get out of it. I've known so many, like, especially like women, but men too, like people that have gone through their whole lives just being in those types of relationships. And it's really sad, and I see it a lot, and I did it, I got out of one that was like that, and then I had one sort of whatever thing, and then I was with another one after I was like, I'm never going to be in a relationship like that again. And then the one after was even worse. But it took me learning the lesson twice, I guess, in terms of like it being that bad for it to really sink in. And, but I've watched other women do the same thing. They get out of one abusive relationship, they jump right into another one. And they don't even realize they're doing it. And it's sad, but it